And we appreciate all that the United Daughters of the Confederacy has done in support of the Casemate Museum and its other activities. I will share my own view, which is just my personal view at this point, but given the timing of the erection of the arch in the 1950s, my conclusion is that it was done in defiance of desegregation policies. So that's my opinion that I've reached in the context of what I know of the history, but I appreciate your perspective, and I appreciate the fact that you shared it with us this morning. Our next speaker is Mr. Wiggins.
Good morning, everyone. It was not my intention to speak to this particular issue. I was going to speak hopefully later during the public comment about other things, but I'm moved to do so. Some individuals heard my comments for what they were worth yesterday when we went on the tour, when we were at the Jefferson Davis Memorial. I just wanted to say that after having spoken with Bertram Hayes Davis, the great-great-grandson of Jefferson Davis, and also being in touch with some of Robert E. Lee's relatives, and hearing about Stonewall Jackson's relatives, most of them do not want Confederate relics or monuments to be displayed as they are currently displayed. And these are Jefferson Davis's descendants. I recognize his service as Secretary of War. He contributed greatly to the antebellum period. And as I said, I'm not holding any malice, but he made a mistake, so did Robert E. Lee. And to have that on the 24th, actually 23rd through the 25th of August, when we're going to be commemorating the landing of the first enslaved Africans and speaking about Freedom's Fortress as well, and the contraband, and I looked at that very closely, it would be antithetical to what this place stands for. Again, not being mean-spirited, but everything has its place, and this is not the place for it. And I do respect what was stated. I remain appalled at the lost cause. It is not rewriting history or destroying history. It is letting individuals understand that the conflict that is still a part of our nation's fabric goes back to this period of time, and to have it restated in 1986, as I recall, that that memorial is worth keeping, is equally appalling. So I don't want this nation further divided at all, but everything has its proper place. We're not rewriting history. We are trying to unify this nation and not destroy, but to put in the proper places those things that create dissension. I can say more, but I'll take my seat. Thank you for listening to me. And as I said, there's no malice or hatred here. It is a matter of trying to go through the healing process. We're going to have a healing day on the 25th here, funded primarily by the National Park Service. And I just can't see how I'm going to explain to individuals how an individual who would have kept my ancestors, I just got my DNA stuff back from 23andMe and 23ancestry.com, and I'm all mixed up. I'm really mixed up. However, we could have had enslavement until up to 1888. Brazil got rid of enslavement in 1888. I mean, I just don't want to think about that. And I have relatives who were enslaved, and I know that. And as a person of color, I know what I've experienced. And I'm ancient. I marched once upon a time with CORE. I didn't fare well because I wasn't nonviolent. However, we have to do something to show the nation that we're working together, because you know what the climate is like now. Right. So I'm taking my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wiggins. Before you take your seat, may I ask you, would the 1619 project have any objection to the arch being placed within the Casemate Museum physical area with appropriate signage?
I can't speak for the board, my brother Calvin Pearson isn't here. However, that would be an appropriate place, in my opinion, because again, we're not trying to destroy history. We're not trying to rewrite history at all. Everything in its proper place. I would have no personal objection at all, with the proper context, etc. Because these are individuals who were Americans who made a mistake. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
They made a terrible mistake. And I have no objection personally, and I think the board would go along with that. Along with the Contraband Historical Society, I can speak for them as well. And I don't know about the citizens for Monroe National Park, but if I look at them, you would agree? So some of the members would agree as well. So thank you, sir.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Wiggins. And of course, the display within the Casemate Museum that features Jefferson Davis's relationship to Fort Monroe is not done in any disparaging way, but in a historical context. I'm also going to make a personal comment, which I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to make it anyways. Anything that was erected after I was born, I don't consider to be historic. Now we're going to hear from Mark Perot, who was also asked to provide public comment.